If you're a U.S. green card holder, stop scrolling right now. What I'm about to share could directly affect your ability to travel freely in and out of the United States. A new wave of immigration and border enforcement practices has already gone into effect, and they're not optional. These measures are actively impacting thousands of lawful permanent residents. If you're not fully aware of them, you could be stopped at the border, interrogated, or in the worst case, risk losing your green card entirely. So, what's really happening? Beginning this month, U.S. Customs and Border Protection has implemented significantly stricter enforcement at ports of entry for green card holders, especially for those who travel frequently or spend extended time outside the country. Officers have been newly instructed to examine re-entry behavior, evaluate ties to the U.S., and measure intent to live here permanently. If you don't meet these elevated expectations, you could be flagged, detained, or even referred to immigration court for review of your status. And here's the important part. This isn't limited to people who've been abroad for long periods. Even short trips can now raise red flags if you fail to show proper documentation or evidence of your permanent residence in the U.S. These updated measures require much more than just presenting your green card. Officers may now request proof of U.S. employment, tax records, property ownership, utility bills, school enrollment, or other documents that confirm you still live here as your primary home. Now imagine this. You've spent years building your life in America. You've raised children, purchased a home, invested in your career. Suddenly, one poorly timed or misunderstood trip abroad puts all of that at risk. It may sound extreme, but it's happening right now, and far more often than many realize. In today's video, I'll break down exactly what's changed, who's being impacted, and what steps you can take immediately to safeguard your residency and protect your future. If you're a green card holder, or you know someone who is, this is not the video to skip. Please hit the like button to spread awareness, and let's dive into the details. Here's what you need to know. For decades, the rules governing lawful permanent residents have existed on paper, but enforcement was often relaxed. That has changed. CBP officers are now using far broader discretion to determine whether someone truly qualifies as a permanent resident. Travelers who once moved in and out of the U.S. with little concern are now being pulled aside for detailed questioning and deeper scrutiny. According to recent reports, CBP has issued new internal protocols requiring officers to conduct enhanced screenings. That means even after a short vacation, you might be asked for proof that your real life remains in the U.S. And if your travel patterns suggest otherwise, your intent to reside could be questioned, a critical factor that now plays a central role in determining your eligibility to keep your green card. Intent to reside is not just about owning a house or having family here. Officers may analyze your job history, driver's license, tax filings, mailing address, and financial ties to determine if the U.S. is truly your permanent home. If they conclude your primary residence may actually be abroad, serious problems begin. For example, if you've been away caring for a sick parent or managing a family emergency, that could still be flagged as suspicious. And it's not just about how long you're gone, but how often you travel. Multiple short trips in a single year can raise more red flags than one long absence. The rules are no longer black and white, they're subjective, and that subjectivity makes outcomes unpredictable. Documentation is now critical. You may be required to show lease agreements, tax returns, pay stubs, or school enrollment records. Without sufficient proof, you could face secondary inspection, prolonged questioning, or even be issued a notice to appear in immigration court. Some green card holders have even reported their cards being annotated after questioning, essentially marking them for extra scrutiny during future travel. And don't assume a re-entry permit fully protects you. While it allows up to 2 years abroad, officers can still challenge its legitimacy if they believe it's being used to maintain benefits without truly residing in the U.S. There are confirmed cases where permanent residents with valid permits were still denied re-entry or placed under review. If you're applying for U.S. citizenship, the stakes rise even higher. To naturalize, you must prove continuous residence and physical presence. Extended or frequent travel can disrupt that continuity and restart the citizenship clock. In extreme cases, it may be used to argue that you never intended to make the U.S. your primary home, endangering both your green card and your path to citizenship. Taxes now play a major role too. Immigration authorities are working closely with the IRS. If you're not filing U.S. taxes as a resident, or if you claim foreign tax residency, that could be used against you as evidence of abandonment of U.S. residence. This is particularly difficult for parents whose children study abroad. Every extra week overseas feels risky. Many are canceling trips altogether or consulting immigration attorneys before traveling. The emotional burden is heavy, especially for those who've worked hard, paid taxes, and contributed to U.S. society, yet feel as though their lives could be destabilized by a single border encounter. If you've been outside the U.S. for 6 months or longer, or if you're planning extended travel, it's essential to consult an immigration attorney. Review your travel history, consider applying for a re-entry permit, and ensure your documents clearly demonstrate ongoing residence. If you're pursuing citizenship, be extra cautious about travel timing. Even a short trip near your interview could disrupt your application. Here's the bottom line. As a green card holder, your travel freedom is no longer automatic. The laws themselves haven't changed, but their enforcement has. Immigration scrutiny is tightening, interpretation of the rules has shifted, and the demand for documentation has grown more intense than ever before. Stay informed, stay proactive, and stay firmly rooted in your U.S. life. Because in today's environment, that's not just smart, it's critical to protecting your legal status. If you found this helpful, please share it with others. It could prevent someone you care about from making a costly mistake at the border. Drop your questions in the comments, and I'll address them in future videos. Don't forget to hit like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss important updates. In these uncertain times, the strongest protection you have is knowledge. Stay informed and stay ahead.